What is wrong with this team? Everything. I don't know what is wrong. Like, it's just never easy, is it?
Lin Dunn didn't just call out Stephanie White. She launched a full-on assault that sent shockwaves through the Indiana Fever organization. This wasn't a quiet disagreement behind closed doors. It was a public, calculated takedown, and the fallout could reshape Caitlin Clark's entire WNBA trajectory. This isn't petty drama. It's a critical moment that exposes how leadership decisions at the top can stifle the league's most promising superstar.
I'll say it. Fire Stephanie White. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Should a front office dictate how a coach uses a generational talent? Should Stephanie White be replaced, or does she deserve more time? These aren't just fan questions. They're the kinds of conversations that determine the fate of franchises. What makes this even more explosive is that Dunn, a respected veteran executive, took to social media to make her point.
Like Lin Dunn posting, and this is again the former like GM of the Fever, who's now something to do with the Fever. I don't know what her role is. She goes, don't expect the players to do it if you don't drill it.
This wasn't some anonymous leak or whispered rumor. This was scorched earth transparency. And when someone with Dunn's experience goes public with thinly veiled criticism, it signals a crisis inside the building. The Indiana Fever didn't just lose a game. They lost control of their narrative.
I mean, this offense looked awful, and Sydney Colson, my God, is terrible running point guard on this team. Terrible.
Expectations for this team were sky-high going into the season. With veterans like Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson, the Fever weren't just rebuilding. They were loading up with battle-tested leaders. On paper, it looked like a playoff-bound dream team. In practice, the chemistry's been off, the execution sloppy, and the coaching questionable. But the most glaring issue isn't the record. It's how Caitlin Clark is being used.
They had 0 fast break points. 0 fast break points on the game. 0 fast break points. I don't care what this score ends up.
Clark is a once-in-a-generation offensive weapon. She didn't just light up college basketball, she changed it. And instead of designing a system around her talents, Coach Stephanie White has buried her in a rigid motion offense that dulls everything that makes Clark special. That motion offense, in its current form, looks less like strategy and more like confusion.
Like, they were embarrassingly bad without Caitlin Clark. They were just embarrassingly bad. And I mean this. A good coach will figure something out. A good coach will figure something out. Does this team play defense? No. No. I mean this. This team doesn't play defense. They've just gotten lucky. Teams miss shots. They've gotten lucky. Teams miss shots. They don't play defense. They still don't play defense. I know they held the Mystics to 83 points. This was a Mystics team who were not shooting well. They don't play defense. They don't defensive rebound. They don't put in any effort. And that's on coach. That is on the coach.
It's predictable, passive, and completely out of step with Clark's strengths. Picture players endlessly passing without purpose, waiting for a gap that never comes. That might work in a high school gym. It doesn't work in the WNBA, especially not when you have Caitlin Clark on the court. It's like owning a Lamborghini and never taking it past 20 miles per hour. At Iowa.
But the Fever got rid of her, and the Fever got rid of her coach. They got rid of her, and they got rid of her coach. They got rid of exactly what she wanted to do. And you know what? I hate saying this. Lin Dunn was probably right when she said it should be a 5-year plan to improve. That the plan to improve should be a 5-year thing.
Clark was the centerpiece of a free-flowing, dynamic offense. She made every decision, controlled tempo, and pulled defenses apart with vision and creativity. Just recently, in a game against the Liberty, she generated 54 points through her scoring and assists. That's what happens when she's given freedom. But under White, she's being forced into a system that reduces her to a background player, where her genius is muted instead of unleashed.
I'm sorry. There is no way you can have 0 fast break points a team unless you are actively trying to not run. Unless you are trying to not run. You cannot have 0 fast break points as a team. Someone just said it. No defense, no offense, no fight. Outside of Lexi Hull and Aaliyah, or not even, I can't even blame Aaliyah Boston. She didn't touch the ball.
Then came Dunn's post, a subtle but sharp jab at the coaching staff. Her message, something along the lines of not expecting players to execute things that aren't practiced, may have seemed vague to outsiders, but anyone paying attention knew exactly who she was targeting. It came right after yet another brutal loss where the offense looked stagnant, the players confused, and Clark visibly exasperated. The timing wasn't a coincidence.
I actually think that she was right in saying that. She was 100% right, and they fired her to quick fix it. Which is, a little bit disappointing. It is a little bit disappointing.
It was a statement. Fans, too, are starting to lose patience. These aren't casual viewers. They're die-hard supporters who've stuck with this franchise through years of irrelevance. When they start to turn, it's not just noise, it's a warning. One fan put it bluntly, "This isn't a red flag. This is a neon sign flashing we've seen enough." And honestly, they're not wrong. Because this entire situation was avoidable. Analysts and fans warned months ago that forcing Clark into a rigid system would be a disaster. The smart move was to build the team around her instincts, not chain her to an outdated system.
Fans are turning against Steph. I turned against Steph in game 1. Sorry, not even game 1, game 2. Game 2. I turned against Steph.
Instead, White stayed committed to her vision. She even got fined recently, not for coaching missteps, but for publicly criticizing referees. Meanwhile, the real issue isn't officiating. It's the fact that this team is mismanaging one of the most marketable, impactful rookies the sport has ever seen. The stats back it up too. When Clark is on the floor, Indiana's offensive rating is 107.5. When she's off, it plummets to 82.2. That's a catastrophic 25-point swing. No referee's whistle causes that. That's about coaching. This so-called motion offense isn't creating chemistry, it's destroying momentum.
I legitimately just cannot believe this is going on. We're turning into the Chicago Sky. Why are we turning into the Chicago Sky? We're turning into it's becoming dysfunctional. You're now seeing all these memes with Christy Sides and Caitlin, how's Stephanie White's offense treating you? And I mean this when I say this, pretty damn bad. Pretty damn bad when it comes to Caitlin.
It restricts creativity, slows down dynamic players, and worst of all, it sidelines Clark's greatest weapon, her court vision and decision-making. She reads the game in 4K while others are still buffering. Asking her to play inside such limitations is like asking Steph Curry to only shoot mid-range jumpers. It doesn't make sense. She's already a star, led Iowa to consecutive national championship games, broke nearly every scoring record, transformed the WNBA's media relevance, and made first-team All-WNBA as a rookie. If you're passionate about real basketball talk, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, and share with fellow fans, because your support keeps the game alive.